How's it going, you guys? It is the end of the day right now. I'm just shooting a little bit of this and I'm gonna come back out tomorrow morning and shoot more of this video. But I wanted to give you guys an update on these sunflowers that I sowed not even that long ago. These are the Gold Light DMRs. Let me show you guys. These are so pretty. And I have sown them so that way I get different sizes from them, and they're a branching sunflower. They have been one of my favorites. I've already harvested, I don't even know how many off of them, and they're branching, so they're starting to shoot out little sunflowers off the sides. And let me show you guys up close. Okay, so what these guys do is they have their main sunflower that comes up the trunk. Okay, doing great, Robbie. It comes up the trunk, one sunflower, and then it shoots off little side shoots. And you can see ones that I've already harvested. So this is one that I harvested the main stem already, and then it shoots out these little side shoots with even more sunflowers on them. So soon I could come down and I could harvest this down here. Usually these guys get a little bit longer and I can reuse them again, and I can do a much shorter bouquet. I'll get maybe 7-inch stems on these. This one seems really short. You can see this one hasn't even started opening and the stem's a little bit longer than this one is. But this is one that I didn't harvest in time, and so it's done its blooms. The petals have all, they're coming off now. It's actually really pretty to use in arrangements with these petals out of it. A lot of people, they're like, what is that? Like, oh, it's just, a really cool sunflower. Just like that. It's actually really pretty to use like that in an arrangement. But look, you can see this one right here, it has shot off. It's got 2 leaves right next to each other and then 2 blooms coming. And then another thing is I spaced these guys down here at about 6 inches apart, but some of them on the inside ended up growing so much smaller. They just got a little bit less light. And so look at, this is the main stem on this. This is one main stem. You can see I also have bug damage, but look at how tiny this sunflower is. I have some in there. You can see there's a couple more right down in there in the euphorbia. And I have a couple at the end of the bed that didn't get nearly as much sun. And the ones at the end of the bed have little tiny heads in them, and which I actually prefer no bigger than this, which this is size of my palm right here. This one is even just a little bit too big for me to use, which they do get quite large. I mean, they end up getting, almost the size of my hand. That's their normal size, is about 6 to 7 inches. I prefer them to be a little bit smaller. And with sunflowers, the closer that you space them, the smaller they will actually be. So, and then the side shoots are always much smaller too. But I try to space them close. So these are 6 inches apart. I think if I do this again next year, I will plant them 4 inches apart so I can get more blooms that are smaller sizing, like palm size, like that. That is just so much easier to work with in arrangements. But I'm also really liking those little tiny ones like that. Let me come around this side. These ones right here, like you can see, this is a single stem right here. These have been so much fun to just tuck into arrangements. They're tiny, but they're so pretty, and the green centers on them. Oh, there's a little bug just enjoying himself. These have been so much fun. These are the DMR sunflowers, and I have had an amazing show with these, especially because they're branching. And sometimes, like I said, I come out here and I don't end up harvesting them. And so because I missed that one, I'll still get the little side shoots, which is perfect because they're smaller, and I prefer to work with the smaller ones in the arrangements anyways. So it's perfect. They've been so good. I will put a link to where I got these seeds. I got them from, I think, Sunflower Selection. I ordered 2,000 of them because I thought, I'm gonna sow them and I'm gonna succession sow. Yeah, that didn't work out. This is my second batch of sunflowers that I've done. But we've also tore out a lot in the garden right now, so let me show you guys this. So down this same row, we have the asters here, and down here I had the Euryngum. The Euryngum has all sent its blooms up, and it's pretty much done. Some of them are actually sending up new spikes. I think it's because I cut them before I cut them. I mean, you can see they died. but I cut them before they drop their seeds, so I think some of them are sending up new spikes. Like that's a brand new spike and that's a brand new spike. And there's some over there. I had the blue glitter and the white glitter, and I definitely preferred the blue glitter. That was so much better than the white glitter. The white glitter just kind of looked weird in arrangements. I will be growing blue glitter again. And then over on this side, this was all the scabiosa. Scabiosa all went to seed. There are tons of seed heads all over the ground. Like, I mean, there's also a ton of weeds, but lots of little seed heads. I love scabiosa. It was just done. I can show you guys one of the blooms. This plant didn't get pulled, but this one is the, like, I think it's like dark beauty or black night or something like that. I can't remember. I think it's like black night, and this one is really, really pretty. It's a nice, like, dark little flower, and this is true to size. This one might be a little bit small, but there's so many of them. I grew a ton of them in this little bed, and they produced nonstop. And then over here is the amaranth, and that is going to get pulled. This is actually covered in aphids right now. Also, I mean, you can see a lot of it is like starting to die. This one like flopped over. It looks like it died at the base. But like this side looks good. It was over here. This whole big one is covered in aphids, and all of the red is totally covered in aphids. I did see some ladybugs on there, but I'm just not gonna deal with it. Okay, of course, now I come over here to show you guys that there's aphids, and I'm not seeing a single aphid. That's just my luck. But either way, it's gonna come out because it's starting to fizzle a little bit. I might come in and try to harvest a few more of these ones that still look good. Oh, there's one aphid. I found one aphid. You probably can't even tell, but that black dot right there is an aphid. There's one on my finger right now. See it moving? That's an aphid. So they're hard to see because they're black, and the seeds on these are also black. But they are totally covered in aphids, so this is gonna get pulled here pretty quick. All right, and I'm gonna go in. Oh, got bugs on me. I'm gonna go inside. It feels so nice out here right now. It's like cooling down into the like 70s at nighttime, and the high this week on our 10-day is like 94, which I will totally take 94 degrees. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful at nighttime. Everything is coming along, and I've started to remove things that are a little overwhelming in the garden, and I'm feeling like I can breathe again. So I've got a few more things that are gonna get pulled. Like I said, the amaranth's gonna get pulled. The feverfew right here, that's gonna get pulled. And just a few other things that aren't performing that well. Just because this is all gonna go by this fall time. I'm gonna pull all of this out, and this is going to be a totally different plant, and I can't wait to show you guys. So I'm gonna come back in the morning time when I have more light, because I can see that the video is starting to get a little bit grainy now. And we're gonna just harvest a bouquet of flowers and do a few things in the garden. I'm gonna give you guys some updates on a few other things, like right here. These are the Proven Winners Super Tunia Vista Silverberry, and I thought I killed them. I showed Janie, and she was like, oh, you should just pull those. They were looking so bad, and they've rebounded, and they've put out like blooms like crazy again. It's okay. I'm talking too much. I'm gonna go inside, and then I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Okay, well, the plan for today, the next day, obviously, was that I was gonna come out here and I was gonna make some flower arrangements and just kind of like mosey around the garden. But I went and checked on my seedlings this morning, and they're growing quick. So I need to figure out what I'm doing in this area. So this is our vegetable garden, and I'm not 100% sure that this is gonna stay the vegetable garden for next year. I need to do some clean out in here because it has been severely neglected. I have powdery mildew on, I have a dahlia right there. You can see one of the red blooms. The berries have been neglected, the tomatoes have been neglected. I have in a container, you guys can't even see the container, but it's right back there, that has grasses in it. It needs to be cleaned out. So I need to do a cleanup of the vegetable garden, and then reassess if I'm gonna keep this fall time as the vegetable garden while I transition it to another area. I'm going to just clean this area out first and then I guess go through my thought process. So before I get to cleaning, let me give you guys an actual tour of this area. Sorry if there's loud noises. Neighbors. That's all I can say. Anyways, so this is the vegetable garden. This is our arch that we have. This is out of cattle panels. And I mean, you can see it's a cattle panel. I ended up cutting it into half and then I zip tied it up at the top, and then we have a light right there. I actually have power to it, so at nighttime it lights up. It's really pretty. I grow morning glories here and I love that so much. My thought is I'm gonna get rid of all of the fencing. I'm gonna get rid of the arch. I might move the arch over here. This has a climbing rose and this tea rose right here, and I might put it here. And then there's a bench and then like this arch, and I'll grow the roses up and over it. Like this one's already really tall, and this one's gonna get like, I think 15 feet tall. So I'll grow a couple over on one side and then the rest going over the shed and stuff. Picket fence is gonna come out though. And then grapes will have to come out. I have a willow in there. That's a Kilmarnock willow. That I might end up getting rid of just because the last couple of years it has been totally decimated by caterpillars. And I just don't want to spray it with like BT or anything. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it. This might be one of the things that when I do my rework, it gets pulled. Which, I mean, look at this. There's Bermuda grass that has grown. Is that not insane? It's ridiculous. So this is probably going to get pulled out. I'll keep the pot. Obviously, it's a rolled rim terracotta. My compost is going to go. I'm going to do a smaller version of this. This thing usually is like heaping mounds, but I don't need something this big. And then I'll continue the flower bed all the way down and around in front of the chicken coop. Then there's the door. And then over here, I have this flower bed. And it'll kind of like wind around because this fence isn't going to be here. And it's going to wind around to this rose. So that way it's kind of like this like swoop with the arch. And all of this will be gone. And then if we come in here, let me show you guys this. So this is my tomato plant. This one has been an amazing performer and the tomatoes are so sweet. This is the Sun Gold. Oh, this one already split. I'll give this to the chickens. Hi, girls. Okay, this is all gonna go though. This won't be so pointed. It's actually gonna come out and it'll kind of be like rounded and go up to the rose right here. And this is all gonna come out. You can see I have like borage popping up. I planted that 2 years ago and it pops up everywhere now. This is the Queen Anne's lace. And that is my berry bed, and that is a tomato. This is the dahlia that I named after my mom, and I don't think I'm gonna keep tubers on this one actually. Super infested with powdery mildew, and if it can't survive its first year, then I know it's not going to be very disease resistant. So I'll grow more dahlias from seed next year and see what I find. So that's going to get pulled up. The grass in there is going to get pulled up. This bed is going to get pulled up. This is my basil patch, which had very poor germination and lots of pokeweed. And then I have pokeweed right here also. That's why I'm just like, I haven't dealt with that corner, but that's gonna get pulled. One of those there's a blackberry in there, and that's gonna get pulled, and this cattle panel is gonna go. That way I can just do like, we're gonna replace the fence, and then it'll be flower bed from right back there, and it'll just continue all the way down and around to right here, and it'll just be a nice pretty long flower bed. So I have a really long area to deal with. That's probably 25 feet from there to there. And then that way I'll have the chicken coop just kind of tucked into a flower bed. It'll be really pretty. So my plan for back here today is pull the dahlia, get rid of the one blackberry, get rid of the pokeweed, clean out this flower bed right here by the chicken coop door. And I need to move the tomato plants just out of here so I can like feel like I can like actually breathe again, and assess my seedlings, because the plan is to put the seedlings kind of by, it'll actually be, I It's on this side right here, that side of our house, which is our long gate where we have the lion fountain. The plan is to put it there, the vegetable garden, but I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. And so if it doesn't happen this fall, I still want to be able to do a fall garden, and I'll do it in here, but I want to have the space, and right now I don't have the space. So the berries need to get cleaned up really badly too. This has just been totally neglected. Well, just my luck, I started recording and I ended up cleaning up a bunch of the tomato. You can see there's my pile right there. I got the grass out. I got some of the tomato cleaned up. I pulled the grass out of that container right there. And while I was doing all of that, a bird pooped on my phone and hit where it pooped, it hit the pause button for recording. So it recorded none of that. So I came back to check and see the angle and make sure it was looking good and everything was all right. And a bird pooped on my screen and stopped recording. Oh, that's just my luck. Okay, so I'm gonna try setting this up again and see if I can capture any more of this cleanup, I guess. We'll see how that goes. No expert at grapes by like any stretch of the imagination. Our grape that we have here is about 3 years old, and this is first year that we're getting grapes. I ended up only cutting off one bunch of grapes. This is a very new bunch of them. I didn't mean to cut this one off. I meant to cut a different branch and I cut this one off. But that looks super severe. I know, you see the giant pile right there. And that went from being very full to very empty. That is what I should have been doing. That's what I should have been doing the entire time on this grape. You're supposed to, from the way I understand it, like I said, I'm not an expert at grapes. This is my first time really dealing with them. You're supposed to have your main trunk, and then that's supposed to veer off into 2 leaders, and 2 or 4. I was going for 2, and then from that, then it shoots up canes that go upwards from that, and then those are the ones that produce your grapes. And I didn't really fully understand that. I didn't understand what I was supposed to be looking for or what I was doing. And now, like, getting in there and untangling the mess and trimming everything back, now I understand what I'm supposed to be looking for. So you can see right here, I have 1 branch, and then from there I have 1, 2, 3 leaders that shoot up. And then on those leaders are the ones that produce the grapes. So 3 years old, and I'm getting my first batch of grapes from them. Let me show you guys a close-up so I can maybe try to explain it a little bit better. So this is the pile right here. This is the grape. You can see it comes up And what I should have done years ago is I should have trained it so it was taller and then it had its horizontal branching. But like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. So they're low. So this is first years, this is second years right here, these two branches. Those are the two I kept last year. And then from that, there's a branch that came up, 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 and up. And ideally what you would do is you'd train these as long as you want them to go. And I would train these very, very long. And then from those, you'd get all these little sucker shoots that shoot up. And then from this, you follow it up. And this is where your grapes get produced, is right here. So you can see it came up. I ended up cutting that branched out like that. At each leaf, it'll produce a node like this, and that'll be a new branch. So each leaf has the potential to shoot off branches. And that's what happened this year, and I didn't do any excess trimming. And so this year I came in and there was a branch there, a branch there, a branch there, a branch there, a branch there. There was multiple branches over here. I ended up cutting a lot of those out, and I left it to just the 4 that had grapes on them currently. So this one branch right here is a super overproducer. So this is going up, and then it goes up here, and from here is where all of its little grape batches are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 batches, 8, and there was a 9th just from that one branch right there, and I ended up cutting it off. This one branch has just 1 batch, and then this one has, I think, 2 on it. That's what I did. Probably did something wrong, but I watched Monty Don do his grapes, and he like really explained it, and I kind of understood it a little bit better. So that's what I did, is I did my main leader, and then from those are the shoots. And I guess next year what I do, or at the end of the year, I cut these down to just little nubbies, and then those little nubbies will shoot off new grapes, new branches next year. Don't quote me on it. If I kill it, I kill it. But I should get some grapes this year, so we'll see how the rest of this goes. So now I just need to come in though and clean up the base of this bed. I'm probably gonna just pull these bricks out, and there's a grass there I need to pull. You can see all of this right here is all Bermuda grass. It's starting to grow into that willow. It all just needs to be pulled out. And then if we come into the vegetable garden, I just kind of tied up any of these loose ones that were coming out. I cleaned up a little bit of the tomato. I got rid of everything in this bed, which is really nice. This is my pile. The dahlia is cleaned up. The black pot is cleaned up, which I just need to move. And then, okay, I'm falling. And then you can see this bed still needs some work. I have some mint that just fell over. I need to pick that back up. I think I'm going to put it on the pedestal there so it doesn't start to root and grow into the ground. I really don't want mint in the ground. I need to come in. There's some seedlings, some Bermuda grass, some clover. I need to pull all of this out. I'm going to pull these off. This is what I used as kind of a hoop house. It was super cheap, easy little greenhouse style, so I could extend over the winter and continue to grow. But I'm going to pull that, and if I end up needing them next year, then I'll use them. Or I guess this year, this fall. But I'm going to clear this bed out, pull the pokeweed, and then this mess over here. I am going to pull this out today too, so I can actually walk in here. So let's get back to work and get this all done. dirt on my face and I'm sweating. But I think it takes a few years to learn how somebody wants to use their property. This is going into the 4th year of gardening on this property. Next year will be the 4th year gardening. We've owned the property for 4 years, but we didn't do anything that first year. Garden wise, we just worked on getting the house fixed up. Then I immediately just jumped into it after we got the house all fixed up. I was like, I need to garden, I need to get out there, I need to make this pretty. And I just jumped into it, not having a plan in place, and also not understanding how I wanted the layout of the property to be. So I just threw the chicken coop back here, I threw the vegetable garden back here. The vegetable garden actually used to be much larger than it is now. It used to be probably about 3.5 times the size it is now, and we shrunk it. While I still think this is a pretty good size for, it's the 2 of us in the house, and I think that that's a good size for us, I didn't do the layout correctly in this area. And then this year I also did it as like cut flowers, and the cut flowers, they failed, they didn't work, so I didn't even get any cut flowers out of the space. Would have been much better growing peppers and cucumbers and things that we actually would have eaten. Instead, I should have just kept it as a vegetable garden. So I pretty much got that all done. It's very drastic. I don't know, but you can actually see the fence now, and the pile that is right here behind me, this pile is absolutely massive. The one that's in a container, I'm gonna just, actually all of it's gonna get tossed, but the one that's in a container is a blackberry, and that is gonna go into the back of the truck and go to the dump. And then I have a blueberry plant there that I thought was dead, but it's not dead. But it's also, I bought it when we first started vegetable gardening 3 years ago, and it hasn't produced anything, so it's time for it to go. I'll put it out in our driveway with a free sign saying it's a blueberry plant, and I'm sure somebody will take it in a heartbeat. So I'm gonna clean this mess up now, and then I'll show you guys how it all looks really quick. All right, you guys, it is the hottest point of the day. We are done. So you guys saw this area is pretty much cleaned up. I still haven't done this yet, but I think we're done for the day. We're calling it good. I actually ended up having Brent to come out here and help for a while. Say hi. And then, so we got this all done. I cleaned up a little bit of the morning glory, and then you come in, it's all cleaned up. I moved that black container that was there. It's now over there. This bed is clear. I think for this year, this fall at least, this is all gonna be veggies. And I would love to do lettuce in here, just a big bed of lettuce. And then we got an empty container here. The berries are cleaned up. You can see we started the fence. That was quite a while ago, so we just need to continue on. We need to take all of this out and then do the new fence. I moved the tomato back there, got rid of that one berry, the basil. Like, it just feels so much more roomy in here now. This bed is all cleared out and ready for some veggies. I'm gonna do cucumbers and bush beans in here for now until I fully do fall veggies. So it is nice and clear. And then let me show you guys this angle. You can see these are my snips I leave out. I always have a pair back here, but it just looks so much better back here now. So that is gonna be it for this video, you guys. It is hot. It's actually not nearly as hot as it has when I have cobwebs on my head. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. This is already an extremely long video, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out with us today. It looks better back here. I'm happy with it. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.